your scuba gear on. Let's go swim with the dolphins.
Oh, here they come! Dolphins are perfectly adapted to their environment. They have nothing to do but swim and play all day. They have massive brains. They're incredibly intelligent. If dolphins bought insurance, they'd choose High House.
High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. Try us and see. Call 606 552. High House, local reliable insurance. High Street, Selsey.
Hi, and welcome once again to Selsey Internet Radio's podcast. In this week's show, we'll be hearing from Lyn Reeve about what's going on in and around the village for the coming week. We also have an interview with Pamela Howard OBE, and Pamela will be telling us about her life and also about the up-and-coming production of Charlie Chaplin at the Pavillion Theatre, and that's a must-see, and the tickets are going quick, so you need to get on that one. We also hear a rather impromptu recipe for barbecued burgers and stuff from Dennis and Lynn, and I think I'll stay at home. I'll be washing my hair that day, and and finally we have Dennis's news and views on videos to be seen or missed in Dennis Cowan's Videowatch. So, without further ado, we'll get on with the show. Hi, and welcome once again to Selsey Internet Radio. My name's Keith Barnes, and in the studio this morning, my first guest is the lovely Lyn Reeve, and Lyn's going to be telling us what's going on in and around the village for the coming week. And she's going to do it with a smile, and you can't see that, but I can.
You can hear a smile, though.
You can, Lynn, you can.
Good morning, everybody. Hello, Keith. How are you today?
Well, I'm suffering again, but you know...
Why, what's the matter, sweet pea?
I've just been to the doctor's.
Oh, you
back.
Poor thing.
She said,
what's going on?
I don't know. She said, keep taking the tablets. It's nothing serious. Just take these tablets and paint a black cross on your door.
Oh,
I don't quite know what she meant by that. But anyway, yeah.
I thought she suggested you lay down and have some high heels walk over you or something.
Well, I thought, you know, a little Japanese girl walking up and down my back.
I can just imagine what
you know, they
thought,
do that,
Keith,
don't they? These Japanese masseurs. So
I'll tell you what, I should keep painting that black thick cross on your door.
Yeah. I think I'm right.
Yeah. Anyway, on Monday the 13th of July, though, for those dog lovers out there, there's a ring craft training taking place at the Selsey Centre from 7 till 10 p.m. And that's arranged by the Chichester and District Canine Centre. So if you're interested in that, please ring 604 046 for further details. It's all right, isn't it? Something else for the dogs to do.
It's a lot. 3 hours. That's a long time running around with your dog, isn't it?
I guess I took my dog for training a couple of weeks back, and you have to do one dog at a time. It takes a while, doesn't it, to get through them all, I suppose. He doesn't go back now because he was too impatient to wait for his turn, so... Oh,
he's been banned, has he?
Yeah.
Excluded from school.
If you've ever met my dog, you'll know why, yeah. Terrier. Terrier. Tuesday the 14th of July sees the Selsey Visually Impaired Club meeting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, goes on till 4 o'clock in Hanover Close Lounge. There's transport from door to door with the Selsey Venture Bus, of course, and further details can be obtained from Mrs. Judy Smith on 606 995 or Mrs. Jill Erickson on 601 628. Again on Tuesday the 14th, the Royal Naval Association, the Selsey branch, meets at the Selsey Club in Cox's Road at 8 o'clock in the evening. All naval personnel are welcome, and for further inquiries contact the Honourable Secretary Gavin Roriston on 607 485. That's Gavin Roriston on 607 485. Wednesday the 15th of July, the popular Crafty Natter Club. I'm surprised you're not a part of that, Keith, really. You like a crafty natter.
Oh, it's nothing crafty about it. I'll talk to anybody.
I know.
All the time. You know what I like.
You do like that, don't you? The old
rabbit. I could rabbit for England, mate.
Rabbit the Nasders. Got more rabbit than Asders. The popular Crafty Natter Club will be in the large hall of the Selsey Methodist Church from 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Transport by the Venture Bus for members, and cost for the afternoon is only £1. So that's great, isn't it?
That's cheap enough to get free tea.
It doesn't say that, but I would imagine that you did. You can't go anywhere in Selsey to a club without getting free tea.
That's right.
Or even if you've got to pay 50p
Well, we haven't
for tea,
mentioned a free cup of tea up to yet. So
No, we haven't actually. Oh, they're a bit slow in coming forward with that this week,
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
They've heard me say it too much. They're thinking, hang on, we're going to start charging now. That's what that's all about. On Wednesday, the 15th of July, the Selsey Folk and Music Club meet at 7:30pm in St Wilfrid's Church Hall. Doesn't say much about what they're doing, but I guess it could be a good night. On Thursday, the 16th of July, the Link Ladies in Contact in St Peter's Church Hall as normal at 7:15 for a 7:30 start. And you've got Sandra Simmings telling us about Life Under the Veil. Cost for the evening is £1.50, and that includes refreshments and a free raffle ticket.
Oh, well.
There we go.
What do
There's
you win?
Selsey coming into it.
I bet in the raffle you win a free cup of tea.
The old Selsey free raffle ticket and cup of tea. It's lovely. The Venture Bus is available to members, so for further information contact either Mary Grantham on 604 718 or Beryl Fletcher on 603 750. And it says we're having an outing to the Way and Arran Canal in Loxford on Wednesday the 12th of August, and the first pickup point is at 12:30pm. A 1.5 hours trip, during which time a tasty cream tea,
Cream tea.
will be served. 4 pickup points within the village, and the cost is £25.50 per person. And if you would like any further information on that, please contact either of the numbers mentioned. So going back to those numbers that were mentioned, they're not.
Going back to
not.
those numbers
They're not
that are not
mentioned.
mentioned.
Okay, but Thursday the 16th of July, if you get in touch with the ladies in contact there at the St Peter's Church Hall at 7:15, then they can tell you all about that little outing on the 12th of August. On Thursday the 16th again, a whist drive is taking place at 7:30 at the Selsey Club in Cox's Road for all of you that like a little game of cards.
Whist drive,
A whist drive, yeah.
Whist for about 40 years, I think, since I played whist.
Can't even remember how you play it now.
No, I can't.
No.
Maybe we should go along
Do
and
snap.
learn.
You
Eh?
can play snap.
Snap.
Happy families.
Yeah, you
and
only
stuff.
want to play snap with me because I've got a stutter. That's a bit of an unfair advantage, isn't it?
Lovely. On Friday the 17th of July, the Derby and Joan Club takes place at St Peter's Church Hall from 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you're a member of the Venture Bus, you can arrange to be picked up. I'll tell you what, that Venture Bus does do a good job in the village, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Just everything you mentioned has got, or you can get a Venture Club bus to pick you up. I just think it's marvellous. They don't get mentioned enough and they don't get recognised for it enough.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's
well
an
done.
invaluable service, isn't it? Because a lot of people perhaps wouldn't be able to attend some of this stuff.
That's right.
If it
yeah.
wasn't for the Venture
yeah,
Club.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be able to go a lot of places, would they? So
No.
well done, the Venture Club. You're blinking brilliant.
Yeah.
And if you're a member of the Venture Bus, you can be a member, so you can go along and find out about that. You can arrange to be picked up, so you can telephone them, the Venture Club, on 605 115. And why not go along and have a fun bingo session together with a nice cup of tea? Contact Jill Evendon on 604 187. So going back to the date of that, it's Friday the 17th of July at St Peter's Church Hall at 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the Derby and Joan Club. On Saturday the 18th of July, the Venture Club garage sale is from 9:30 to 11:30, and that's just adjacent to the co-op in the little recess there. And plus the Selsey Scouts charity shop is open from 10 to 12 noon in the Scout Hut in School Lane.
I love these places. They're like Aladdin's caves, aren't they?
They are. You never know what you're going to find.
You can just go and dig around and scratch around.
You
You
never know what you're going to find. That
Absolutely.
little Venture Club garage there is always full of stuff. And
Yeah.
I'd love to go in and get right in there. I'd love to do house clearances. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
Go in and do loft clearances. Yeah.
You can come and clear my garage if you like.
You never know
You can
what
make
you're
it
gonna...
your life's work.
It's the fact that you never know what you're going to find in there.
That's
know?
right, yeah.
Spiders. Perhaps I don't know. Also on Saturday the 18th of July, a fun family beach fishing competition day. Family beach fishing competition day. That sounds great. Takes place at East Beach Car Park, commences at 12 noon and finishes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's a long cast from East Beach Car Park into the sea. You got to be some fisherman to throw
You're
that
fly
way.
fishing by the rubbish tip. Oh, I'm sorry. Entrance fee is £10 a person, and further information can be obtained from Shep on 07977 012797 or Clive on 07831 544 530, or you can visit the website on selseylifeboats.co.uk. So if you fancy a bit of family fishing, that could be quite good actually. Dad and son and daughter and all sorts.
Yeah, they'll be cheating. They'll be getting divers to go and hook fish onto the line.
Well, that's what I would have done. I would
go
have
down the fishmongers, buy them and hook them on.
I would have bought a fish and, got you to get in and wade in. And all proceeds of that are going to the Selsey Lifeboat, so that's great as well, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
So that's it for this week, Keith.
Well, that's enough to be getting on with. Not too many mentions. Quite a lot going on in
Selsey this week, and then of course we've got the August Festival coming up soon as well. So
that will
busy
be a
bees,
busy
aren't
time.
we?
Absolutely.
Busy bees.
More news coming up on that shortly, I think.
Do you know, there's no need for anybody to stay and be lonely in Selsey, really. There's a club for everybody somewhere out there. Quite good at community.
There's just so many of them.
Yeah, and if you can't get out there, just get in touch with the Venture Club people.
That's right, yeah.
See what they're going.
Get a free cup of tea.
Going out, yeah. Get yourselves out there. That's it for me.
Thank you very much, Lynn. And we'll see you again next week, I would imagine.
Okay, bye-bye, Keith.
Journeys around the village. If you see Lynn, give her a free cup of tea. She loves it.
I do.
Bye-bye. And with me now in the studio is a lady that's been in the theatre one way and another with many different hats over the years, and many years, since 1960, I believe.
That's right.
And that lady's name's Pamela Howard. Pamela Howard OBE, I should add. And Pamela's a resident of Selsey.
I am.
And been involved in a host of productions over the years. But the one that's most important to Selsey is the one that's coming up in August at the Pavillion, and that's Charlie Chaplin.
Tonight.
Good morning, Pamela.
Good morning.
Sorry about that. Tell us a little bit about the Chaplin thing before we get on to your wonderful life that you've had. Tell us a little bit about the Chaplin production.
The wonderful life that I'm having. I don't like it in the past tense.
No, I could understand that.
It happens if you read Charlie Chaplin's autobiography, which he may or may not have written himself. That 2015 is exactly 100 years since he walked into the props and studio store in America of the Keystone Cops, the Max Sennett Film Company. He was alone. He walked in, he had nothing to do. And there it was, dark and dusty, much like the interior of the Pavillion is at this current moment, with props, Roman helmets, statues, and clothes rails just lying about. And on the floor, he saw a cane, and he picked it up, and there was a cracked mirror. We've got one of those. And he twirled the cane, and his eye caught a bowler hat on the top of a dress rail, and he put it on, and he thought, that's funny. And then he looked, and he saw this outsized pair of shoes and put them on, and a big pair of trousers. He was fooling around, truly, as he writes it. And then he thought, what would be funny with this pair of trousers, a very small jacket? And he looked and he found one. And thus the character of the little tramp was born. And it's 100 years exactly. And the writer, Gillian Plowman, has a lot of material, as it so happens, on Chaplin. And she and Chris Butler, the choreographer and the director of our charity, which is Art Stream, we said, why don't we do an event about Chaplin to mark the reopening, or let's say the renaissance of the Pavillion, which will no longer be a builder's yard.
Well, of course, to see the Pavillion coming back to life is wonderful.
Well, this has been my personal mission since I moved here in 2003. And there is an organisation which you might know of called the Theatres Trust, which is the advisory body to the Arts Council on saving entertainment spaces, really, up and down the UK. And amidst all that biography that I'm glad you haven't had time to read everything, I have done a lot of work all over the world in what are called unloved and forgotten spaces. And it's part of a big personal project to do with urban regeneration. So if you can make art in unloved and forgotten buildings, instead of building new ones, you can give life again to old ones. And it's been proved many, many times that art is the great catalyst. And I must say that last year I had the idea to convert Jeff's Builder's Yard into the trenches of the First World War.
Absolutely, yes.
It wasn't very difficult to do. And from that, at the end of that, he said those momentous words, "Pamela, this shouldn't be a builder's yard, should it?" And I said no.
Well, I think we'd all
and
agree
the deal
with him on that.
Was done.
Well, that's
and it
wonderful.
Was as easy as that. But it's taken along many, many years.
And there's a lot of time left in front of it yet, I guess, as well.
Yeah, but Jeff is the owner, and he will remain the owner. But he always wanted to find a way of making it a community space. And it is absolutely true that less talk and more show is the most effective way. Don't talk about it, just show someone what you can do.
Absolutely.
And that's what we did. Too much talk costs lives, I say.
The journey was very well received from what I understand. I actually couldn't get to see it, and it was some of my friends took great delight in telling me exactly what I'd missed.
So. I think it set a bar for, high performance values, and also being able to use a space and then turn it round and bring life to it. And now Charlie is going to be a different thing. And then it'll never be a builder's yard again.
Well, that's wonderful news.
Huge,
really
isn't it?
It's fantastic news. And of course, most people think of Charlie Chaplin as the tramp, as we just described this character that he invented. But he had a very, very tough life initially.
He certainly did.
In a workhouse at 7 years old.
He certainly did. Number 3 Pownell Terrace
mother that was insane and died
absolutely.
in a mental institution. Father that died at 38 years old of cirrhosis of the liver. He had a tough time. And a lot of people don't see that.
No, and he never forgot it. And he never forgot his affection to his brother Sid and Sid's wife Minnie, And yes, it is a very interesting and complex story. In my life, I knew both Victoria Chaplin and Geraldine Chaplin, and indeed for a very short time I met Una, and it was very interesting to hear their story. Of course they were much later, but they became, Geraldine was a film star, but Victoria became a circus performer. She married a Frenchman, but she did all the tricks that her father did.
It was a wonderful entertainer, and the rags to riches story.
And he was famous throughout the world. There was no one who didn't know him. In fact, we have a scene in our production that Gillian's written of the multiple Charlies, and you'll see it's a dance sequence with as many Charlies as we can possibly get in doing their thing from, multiple Charlies.
Sounds like
people loved to dress up as Charlie.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful show. I shall make sure that I get tickets this time.
Yes, please do. There's 64 seats per performance, so it's not a huge amount.
Yes, I did. I had a look and tried to count the seats in the model that was on the website.
Oh, right. Yes.
But I consider
that's my scale model. It's a very small scale.
It wouldn't.
Sorry about that.
Well, it was obvious that there weren't going to be a tremendous amount of
we're
seats.
limited.
So tickets,
of course we're limited. There are all the restrictions of safety and fire exits and wheelchairs and all of that you have to. But that's my business. That's what I do. So
now, having read, doing my homework and read some things about you, You've written books. Scenography was it? I believe it was called Scenography, which
What is scenography?
It was called What is Scenography?
It is.
And that was the question, of course.
Yes, and I would say to you, buy the book.
Yeah,
if
why
you
wouldn't
want
you?
to.
Why wouldn't you, of course.
Scenography, very simply, it comes from a Greek word. It is the word that is used for what in English they're called theatre design, but that gets mixed up with people like consultants who come and design the interiors of theatres. That's not what I do.
No.
So the European word for that is scenography in every language. And it comes from the Greek, and it means scenographica, the drawing of the stage space. It's very simple. And that is the universal word. And it's only in England and America that they don't, as a matter of fact, use it. But I've got a much better word now, if you'd like to hear what that is.
Absolutely.
Because I'm working in Toronto at this minute on a very big project, and which I'm, as you would say, directing and also designing, because that's what I do. And they said, "Oh, you're a theatrician." And I went, that's a new one on me, but I love it because it sounds like an electrician putting wires together and creating sparks, and that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, that's a new one on me, theatrician.
Yes,
almost
but
sounds
anyway, I'm very excited about being a theatrician, or in
sounds
French.
like it should be in the NHS. But
Yes, a théâtricienne, because they do it in 2 languages in Canada.
Well, yes, absolutely.
So,
now, you've travelled extensively. I mean, you've worked all over the world, in America, in Europe, in Copenhagen.
Yes, yes.
Now you're working in Canada.
Yes, and I've just done a major production at the National Opera in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, of Carmen, a new production of Carmen, which has been an amazing experience. Where do you find the time for all this? Well, I wonder.
I understand it's what you do, but...
Yeah, I was away for 3 months. It took me 18 months of my life to plan Carmen. It's huge. You'll see the pictures on my website, and a very funny little terribly short YouTube video, but it might make you laugh.
Yes, well, I should certainly search that out and have a look at that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we know that you received the honour of OBE.
I did.
And having done so many great things in your life and still doing them, as you were quick to point out earlier, still enjoying this wonderful life. How did that make you feel when you received the OBE? Did you feel it was recognition?
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say it was without question the most wonderful day of my life. And it was awarded to me for what was called services to drama. And I was very, very pleased about that because it's wider than just theatre design. And some people say it's a polymath approach. I call it a holistic approach to making theatre. But actually I'm a visual artist. I'm a fine, as you see with that. And I was very, very pleased that it sort of encompassed all that. But mostly I was very pleased because only 2 generations ago, my grandparents on both sides were illegal immigrants to this country from Russia. And I think what it showed was that from absolutely nothing in 2 generations, I'm suddenly at Buckingham Palace with the Queen taking my hand. Note, not me taking the Queen's hand, because you get the protocol. And I thought, this is an amazing tribute to the democracy of Britain, actually.
And
so that meant a lot to me for that.
Now, having received the OBE, did that spur you on to think and give you a new lease of life? Or I mean, you don't seem to me that you ever got to the position in life where you even considered giving up or retiring,
No. It didn't give me a new lease of life. It gave me a wonderful day with my family and with many, many friends. And maybe it has given me a sense of authenticity, which I think it does, whether you want it or not. But actually I've gone on much the same. And when you talk about retiring, as many people do to me, this is the question that more people say to me than anything else: isn't it time you retire? I say this: why don't people tell me to stop cleaning the house, or to stop weeding, or to stop doing any of the things I truly dislike doing? No, they don't. They only tell you to stop doing the thing you can do. Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely. Yes,
so I'm waiting for someone to say it's about time you stop cleaning the house.
Well, I can understand that, certainly. I'm surprised you even find time to clean the house with everything else that you do. But yeah. Thanks for coming in and speaking to us, Pamela. It really has been an experience for me, I have to say. And of course, we wish you well with the Chaplin production, and I'm sure it'll be an amazing success.
Thank you.
And just one question: do you? I mean, because I'm involved with SACOS, and so probably got a biased opinion of what I see them doing. Yeah. Have you ever seen any of the SACOS productions?
Yes, I have.
And as a professional, from a professional point of view, what did you think?
Do you know, when I go and see things, the thing that really knocks me out is the enthusiasm of the people that come and do it. I can't sit there looking at it as you might say, critically or a professional. Why would I? You just go because it's wonderful that people have the energy and the will and the commitment to do something at whatever level they want to do it at. I don't criticise it at all. You know, it might not be my cup of tea. Maybe I don't want to do grease myself.
Yeah.
But, you know, that doesn't mean that lots of other people can't have a brilliant experience doing it.
Well, for the SACOS people out there, I consider that to be an endorsement.
It is. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pamela.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Now, while I had to leave the studio briefly to do a bit of homework for that interview with Pamela, I left Dennis, John and Lynn in the studio on their own. Perhaps not the right thing to do, but they came up with this rather impromptu barbecue recipe.
And here we are on a special recipe, a summer recipe event, and we've cooked up the programme just like we normally do, except we've got Lynn to tell us about what's happening in the kitchen, and our kitchen is wonderful. All right, Lynn?
Hello, Dennis.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a lovely summer's day, and I'm thinking barbecues. Barbecues. What's the most popular food, do you think, on a barbecue, then?
Fish and chips.
No, barbecue, you plonker. Barbecue.
Rodney! Oh, right. Barbecue, I would say they stick some burgers on.
Yeah,
and
that's the one.
They stick sausages on,
burgers.
and they stick bits of chicken legs.
Yeah. Beef burgers, though.
Are we dealing with beef burgers?
We're going to deal with beef burgers, and we're going to make our own.
Are we?
Because they're really, really easy to make and so
they're
tasty.
You really did well. Really well.
Okay.
This is Fort Boyard.
Where are we, Dennis?
Fort Boyard.
Okay.
No, we aren't. We're dealing with burgers.
We're doing barbecues.
And
Have you been drinking, Dennis, again?
No, John's walking around the room at a fantastic pace, and I can't understand it.
Sit down, John.
He's lost something.
Now, come on.
He's upsetting the mood of this barbecue.
Look, the first thing that we have to do is go to the butchers in Selsey.
Yeah.
Any butchers in Selsey, they're all really good, and buy 1 pound of raw minced beef.
Of course.
Now, you want a good quality beef. You don't want one that's going to... Well, they'll only sell good quality in our little butchers, but if you go to some supermarkets and you get a cheaper mince, then you're going to end up with a lot of fat, and it's not very nice. So get a really good quality raw minced beef.
Right. You
want 2 ounces of fresh breadcrumbs. All right?
I'll do that, yeah.
You can do that, can't you?
Yeah.
You just let the bread go a bit stale and crumble it up.
And just grab
stick
it
them
in
in
your
the
fingers
oven.
and just let it all fall about.
1 medium-sized onion, finely chopped. Lots of tear-jerk
Do you ever find sort of when you go for onions, they don't like to have one? They like to have a bag of onions. They like to sell you a bag of onions.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whenever you go to sort of Aldi's and things like that, it's a bag of onions.
Oh, you don't, do you? You've got to go to the local fruit and veg shop where you can buy 1 onion at a time.
There you are.
Shop local.
Shop local for Lynn.
2 teaspoons of chopped parsley.
Yeah.
Some salt and pepper. 1 beaten egg. Poor little egg. All beaten up. Bit of flour. And some oil or fat for frying. Alright. And 4 whole eggs. So we're going to start this one by mixing the beef, the breadcrumbs, the onion and the parsley, and add a good pinch of salt and pepper. Alright, bit of black pepper there. Bind it together with the beaten egg, and then turn that out onto a floured surface and divide it into 8 portions. And this is the good bit where you get to bash them down into sort of kind of a circular round. Form them up by bashing them all down on the floured surface. It's really good. So make 8 little cakes using your floured hands. Fry in hot oil or fat until browned on both sides and cooked through for about 15 minutes. Then you can fry your eggs. All right. Serve each 2 beef burgers with a fried egg and accompanied by some tomato sauce or sweet chutney in your roll. Now then, for me, I like to put a little bit of mayonnaise in the roll, then a bit of lettuce and a bit of tomato and maybe a bit of courgette or something going on there. You can season it how you like. You could even add a bit of cheese, or you could make the burgers with minced lamb, anything you like that, and have a lamb burger instead. Or even
lamb burgers. They used to do these things, didn't they?
Yeah, or in which case you'd put some mint in with the lamb.
Yeah, you do.
With the minced lamb as well. So you've got this lamb and mint burger going on. All sorts of things. And just how simple is that? You just get the ingredients, mix it all up, form your cake and fry it off in a frying pan. Nothing could be simpler. And you could say to everyone, I've made my own burgers today for you. Now, if you wanted to have a little bit of difference, you could form it into meatballs. Yeah, you could form that same mixture.
Yeah, we'll stop there because I keep thinking of those tins of meatballs and how awful they are.
Oh, no, they're disgusting. They are disgusting. They are disgusting. Meatballs and tomato sauce. Blech.
Yeah, no wonder they do them at 27p. Right, go on.
If you started again with your 1 pound of raw minced beef, and perhaps to that you added something like some grated lemon rind, again some chopped parsley, a little bit of milk, a couple of eggs. You could put cheese in if you wanted to. You could put anything in it you want. Just let your imagination go here. Just stuff your meatballs with anything you want. Peppers, chopped finely, chives, onions, anything you like. Chuck it all in there and just form your meatballs up. And again, remove some crust from some bread and soak those slices in milk and mash them to a paste and put that in there as well because it all adds to the meatball thing and bulks it out. So if you're on a budget, that's a really good way of making the mince go a bit further. Mix them into a round and then leave them in a cold place for 2 to 3 hours, all right, because you want them to firm up a little bit. Dip in beaten egg, toss them in some breadcrumbs and fry in some deep fat until they're golden brown, and they're actually really, really tasty. So 2 things you can do with minced beef, very quick and easy on the barbecue. But don't be afraid to add anything that you fancy into it. A bit of garlic here, a bit of salsa there. Anything you want can go into that mixture just to give it a bit of a kick.
And then follow with ice cream.
If you like ice cream on a barbecue, yeah.
Ice cream on a barbecue.
I found some really nice things for a barbecue in a well-known supermarket. They are iced Pimm's and lemonade.
Oh, that sounds nice.
And do you remember the old jubblies you used to get years ago? They're like the jubbly, but it's Pimm's and lemonade in an ice form. Yeah. They were lovely on Sunday afternoon in the garden after my beef burgers.
Well, there we are. Beef burgers. And a Pimm's and lemonade.
And a Pimm's and with some cucumber in. And a strawberry. I'd rather have my strawberries with cream.
Is that all we've got to tell the listeners? Is that it?
That's it. Yes, that's it.
Well, there you have it. A wonderful barbecue.
I think that might be the last time I leave you guys in the studio on your own. You're not to be trusted. Right, now Dennis is going to give you the benefit of his views and reviews in his version of Videowatch.
Welcome to another edition of Videowatch, and this is the 12th one, folks. And I'm Dennis Khan, and I shall be running through the videos, old and new DVDs, and I shall be doing a countdown of the top 20 as supplied by Steve Saunders at Reflex DVD in the Selsey High Street, and telling you more about that later. And then I shall go swiftly on to the Selsey off license and handies and have a look at his DVDs, and I shall be doing the review film from him, which is called Focus, which is actually riding in at number 3. We begin this week with Haunted House, or The Haunted House, and this is rated 15. And this is a 2013 film brought to you by the makers of Scary Movie. Marlon Wayans yet again comes up with a spoof of the paranormal films, which I think there were 3. It's of the camera in the bedroom waits for ghostly encounters, and you get far more in this film than you do in Ghostly Encounters. In this comedy there is crude sex situations and action. It is well made, and the more you get into it, survives as an excellent effects situation, outdoing the paranormal series, and it is at times great fun. It's the usual stable for him. It is 83 minutes of mayhem, and it's not for the kids at all, despite them probably wanting to see it. And then we move on to The Culling. This is a rated 15. It's 2013. It is available to buy in Tesco, etc. and Asda, and comes with the line that it is the answer to Annabelle. But it's not. It runs in at 78 minutes and appears somewhat disjointed at times, even though it lays its story in the supernatural. Plot-wise, it takes one little girl abandoned at a closing diner and a group of teens who turn up to pull in for a rest and get a drink. And seeing her, they decide to do the kindly thing and take her home. When they get there, of course, no one is home, except for an eerie, black wispy presence. That's the evil, folks. But along comes the parents, who turn out to have an agenda of the slasher film type. It's only near the end that the demonic phase kicks in. So you may like that one. At 88 minutes, we have a 2000 film starring Al Pacino. It's 15 rated, and of course, he's quality. And this is a thriller as he plays forensic man Jack Graham. And he has 88 minutes to solve a murder, and he receives a phone call telling him that he has 88 minutes to live. So the 88 keeps running round. On one hand, he helped to convict a serial killer, and on the other, there is a copycat killer on the loose. Jack must find the truth before he runs out of time, and this film runs out at 103 minutes. We then move on to Blind Horizon, and this is rated 15. It's a 2003 film starring Val Kilmer. It's quite complicated. The cast is quite a cast. Neve Campbell is in there, Sam Shepard, Faye Dunaway, and Amy Smart. Frank is played by Val Kilmer, and he is lying in the New Mexico wilderness, shot in the head and left for dead. There's plenty of flashbacks as the film rolls on. He has no memory of who or what he did, but gradually he begins to recall something about a plot to kill the president. Could he be the It Man? Well, you'll have to find out. Try and get that one. And then we have Wilderness. This is a British kind of horror film, really well done. It's 15 rated, and it is gory at times, and it came out in 2006 starring Sean Pertwee of Dog Soldiers. And as we have seen Sean Pertwee, he seems to appear on many British TV thrillers, and he is in the new Gotham series as Harold the Butler to Batman and the young Bruce Wayne, which I quite like. The plot opens with a group of young misfits, or actually offenders, who are sent to an island boot camp. It is thought the island is uninhabited, but there's a psycho hunter hiding, and he's out to take down some easy targets, or so he thinks. It's a British-made horror, quality, and very violent with strong language, so beware of that. It runs in at 90 minutes. And then we run down to Route 666. Get that? Run down to. And this is a 15-rated film, 2001, starring Lou Diamond Phillips of the Young Brat Pack at that time. He plays an FBI special agent who is tracking down a suspect in the Arizona desert. What starts out as a normal assignment quickly turns to horror on the highway stretch known as 666. And we are talking about zombies here, the undead, the legacy of a cursed chain gang who haunt that stretch of the highway. Yes, so that's it. Right now, then we move on to the top 20, as from the 6th of July, supplied by Steve Saunders of Reflex DVD in Selsey High Street. And we start at number 1 with Jupiter Ascending. And number 2, we have that film Kingsman, which is quite a good film. And at 3, we have Focus, which I shall be reviewing later, so hang around for that. At number 4, we've got Taken 3 with Liam Neeson doing his usual bit. Yet another turn for him. At number 5, we have The Boy Next Door, and this is rated 18, and it's a 2015 film. This stars Jennifer Lopez, and it involves a forbidden world of attraction as she gets involved with this teen boy, Noah, played by Ryan Guzman. It's described as a psychological thriller. Number 6, we have Last Nights, which is the Knights of the Round Table, you know, those that ride on the horses. And then we go to number 7, The Loft. At number 8, 50 Shades of Grey. Yes, that's still there. At number 9, we have Shaun the Sheep. This is from the Wallace and Gromit team. It seems to do all right. It's staying there for quite some time. At number 10, we've got American Sniper. At number 11, we've got Big Hero 6. At number 12, we've got No Good Deed. At 13, we've got Horrible Bosses 2. Yes, that's staying around. And at number 14, we have The Wedding Ringer, which, no, I don't know anything about that. And at 15, It Follows. Must see that when I get a chance. At number 16, Second Best Marigold Hotel, and that deserves to be there because it's quite a fine film. At number 17, we've got Cake, which is rated 15, and it's a 2014 film starring Jennifer Aniston, and it co-stars William Macy and Sam Worthington. And this is about Aniston, who embarks on a relationship with a widower, played by Worthington. And it's about a search for love, forgiveness and redemption. That's all I can tell you about that one. At number 18, we have got The Kidnapping of Freddie Heineken. At number 19, it's nice to see that Selma is still there. And then at 20, we've got Ex Machina. And this stars Alex Garland of 28 Days, if you can remember him. It's rated 15, and it's a 2014 film. And strangely enough, this one comes right up to date. And this is about robotics, a girl robot, and the age of electronics and the future of artificial intelligence. Apparently a billionaire allows his mountain retreat to be part of an experiment. It's a little akin to the Humans thing that is now being shown on TV. So that's the top 20. And before we leave Steve's, you ought to note that Steve can do your phone repairs, tablets and iPads. And on the tablets and iPads, he's got a special deal. So if you want a bargain, go round to Steve's at Reflex DVD. We now move on to Andy's, the Selsey off license, and have a look at his videos. And what we've got first is Psychosis. And this is an 18-rated film, 2009. It stars Charisma Carpenter, formerly of Buffy. This is a British horror film, And it says that a California girl visits the UK, moves into a house, an old house that is creepy, of course, and there are, of course, disturbances and things happening. And their dream of peace and quiet soon deteriorate. We have another one called She's Out of My League, and this is rated 15. It's a 2010 film, giving itself the line outrageous comedy, about a guy who can't believe his luck when he gets a gorgeous girl. So in order to win her over, he must go over the top so that he can be in Air League. It's got strong language and sex references, so beware. And then we have Fury at number 15. It's 2014 and it stars Brad Pitt. And this is the one where Brad Pitt came over to England to shoot some of the scenes. It's a military thing. It's set in 1945. And these tank guys set out on a mission behind enemy lines, and they face an overwhelming enemy number in their belief that they can clobber the Nazi enemy. So there you are. And then we have Tombstones, 15. This is a 2014 film, and it stars Liam Neeson, and he plays a New York police investigator who leaves to become a private eye. And he takes on a case of kidnappings that escalate to gruesome murders. And our hero is against the time to catch the killers. So there we have it. And now we will focus on Focus, the film from Andy's, to review. And this is how it goes. Focus is rated 15, 2014. And it stars Will Smith in a sort of grifter film in which con after con follows a con, and it does continue in this theme and leaves you guessing all the time and wondering what to believe as it leads to a sort of romance, or is that romance on? And then, of course, there is danger and who is for real. You kind of keep wondering what you're seeing is actually not another con. But it is a steady film that picks up pace and entertains as it deals with the pickpockets and the characters who take huge chances to rob the next victim. They're continually upping the game, and as you keep seeing it, you encounter yet another con after another con. And you do stay with it because there is kind of love angle on this. So there we have it. And don't forget, at Andy's, he has a wine sampling machine, and it is there every day, so you can pop along and sample 4 wines. So do that. Go and get your crisps, your drinks, and your wine or your beer, and take note of any bargains that are there, and settle in to watch a good film. So, well, that ends another week, so join me next week for more films and more reviews, and it's goodbye.
And so, before we go, I'd just like to say this. Yes, that's a great big happy birthday to Christine Weston of the Selsey Club. And Christine celebrated her birthday on Saturday, and it was her birthday on Sunday. I don't imagine she remembers much of it. That's from all her friends and the people that went to her party. And remember, if you want to wish somebody a happy birthday, you can send us a text on 07511930019, or text us at studio.selseyiinternetradio@gmail.com. And that just leaves me to say a great big thank you to the production team of John Fletcher, Dennis Cowan, Lyn Reeve, and from myself, Keith Barnes, and to our guests, Pamela Howard, a great big thank you, and we look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bye for now. Bye-bye now.